Your voice, your opinion, your community. Fact TV, free speech, protected.
He pointed at you.
Oh, I didn't see that, sorry. Who is this girl?
Who is Aaron?
And who would like to purchase a used finger trap?
All this and more on Gory Story Time.
Warning. Gory Storytime is a horror movie review show by a son and his dad who thought that letting his 5-year-old watch scary movies was acceptable. If you are offended by horror or talk about blood and gore by a child, or if you don't want horror movies from the 60s through today spoiled, then there is a remote stuck in your couch cushion next to potato chip crumbs. Use it. And of course, parental discretion is advised.
Why? You didn't use any.
Shut up and start the show.
Welcome to Gory Story Time. I'm your host, Jason.
I'm his co-host and his father, Craig. And to quickly answer those questions, Meg, Oren, and hopefully no one. This is going to be an episode that we're going to have to stretch a little bit. So, yeah. Because we looked up a lot of background information and there isn't. There is, if you listen to a podcast that's made by the creator, but I'll get into that later.
Right.
First of all, let's talk about the basic premise of this week's movie, Groupers.
Gay.
No.
That's the premise.
I mean, it's really not, and...
It says it up there.
No, it says homosexuality is gay, which is...
No, it says homophobia is gay.
Or whatever.
Come on, had this
homophobia.
runtime with me.
But my point is, that's not the point of this movie.
No.
So the basic premise is there's a girl named Meg, and she has a brother whom is gay and is picked on a lot by two guys from school. They basically make his life a living hell. So she decides to try a psychological experiment on them and ties them up and has an idea of how to decide to prove if gay is a choice, because they say that they believe that gay is a choice. Mm-hmm. And her way of, it's just an interesting way of determining if it's true. Before we get into all of the 4 things that we know about this movie, why don't we watch the trailer?
Yeah.
The Cougars, man.
Cougars, man.
This chick is all in.
Yup, she's crazy, yo.
Surprise!
What is this?
We're gonna play a little game. You're both gonna help me answer a really big question. Do you think that homosexuality is a choice, Brad?
We've all got free will, so yeah.
Please tell me no one's getting raped right now.
You two aren't going anywhere until you prove to me that sexual proclivity is a choice.
I get scared, it just pops up. It just happens.
I know. I can feel it, remember?
Showtime.
Sup?
It's all right, pal. We'll get out of this. Everything's gonna be cool.
Are you always like this when you're not high or drinking or both?
I guess so. I'm usually high, or drinking, or both.
Yeah.
Just get hard with me and she'll let us go and no one will ever know.
All right, I'm going in. I need you to sound more like a woman.
Like this, baby? Oh, that's it. You could do it, man.
Next step is physical. So if you don't make the right choice, we're both gonna lose something.
Oh, God.
I don't know what we about to see in here, but my interest is piqued.
Get hard with me. Get hard with me. Get hard with me.
Kid, why do you keep saying that?
Dude's obsessed with us.
Let's do this!
You one sick, twisted kid.
Well, this is weird.
We're not doing murder. You are just a little fella. Ooh, that's racist.
Looks like I won.
Seriously?
That was awesome. You put their
Their genitals. In what?
All right. Actually, a decent trailer that
Doesn't give away too much, yet shows all of it.
I mean, it shows a lot of what you need to know without
Right.
telling you how it ends up. That's what a trailer should
It's
do.
supposed to do, right?
Yeah. I, as a fan of a podcast called The Film Vault, which the director is one of the two people, he and Bald Brian Bishop from the Adam Carolla Show review movies. They do like a top 5 every week, and it's very interesting. And I would love to somehow connect with Anderson to like have him like come on the show and talk about his movie or something as like a bonus thing.
That would be cool.
Well, he does have a thing where, you know, you can get a hold of him, and I'm going to see if I can try. But that's a separate issue. What I would say is, I don't know, like, is there anything else we can say about this without spoiling the shit out of it? And yes, I said shit because this is
This is a mature episode because
it has to be.
the topic.
I mean, something that happens in this is so much the adult content.
Just about everything that happens in this is
yeah.
adult content.
Yeah, that's true. But anyway, before we get into the behind the scenes information, we have to explain to people, why are we doing this show for free on our little local TV channel?
And that's just it. We are not, clearly.
Yes, we have all of the stacks of the fat cash. And the reason is because we sell our souls to capitalism.
Corporate entities, yes.
Yes. These are commercials where we're going to talk about real products that actually exist in the world.
Right.
And people might be wondering, I forgot to mention earlier, why is it that we do a horror movie show, review show, and this movie is on it? Because we do movies in 4s, and this is one of our 4 horror adjacent. And the reason I say this one's horror adjacent is, if done without the dark comedy, this could be a horror movie with the same plot.
I mean, yeah, kidnapping, tying people up, torturing them, that's
In a lot of horror
That's the
movies.
perfect
Absolutely.
setup for a horror movie.
I would say that this movie isn't. That's why it's adjacent. But most of the things that happen done with just a little twist could make this a
much more horrific movie.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's horrific enough.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, my.
But we'll get into that. But this week, we're getting paid by advertising these real products. For example, this week, Gory Storytime is brought to you by Kidnapper's Choice brand. Are you sick of your victims escaping your clutches? We at Kidnapper's Choice make the best abduction equipment available. From chloroform to high-quality ropes, trust your next kidnapping to Kidnapper's Choice. We guarantee that if your new catch escapes while using our products, we'll pay for up to 30% of your lawyer fees when you get arrested.
All right.
What?
Listen here.
Read.
And by Wieners. The sequel to Boobs is a coffee table book dedicated to a man's part in horror movies. Wieners.
A man's part.
Wieners is 100 pages of horror movie penises. Peni? Whatever. Small wieners, or shall we say cocktail wieners, big wang showering dongs, skinny dipping junk, and many more. If you love horror movies and man bits, then Wieners is the book for you. Wieners. Don't be a dick. Buy your copy today.
All right. Lord.
Mister, help me. I don't want to do a book 2 weeks in a row.
Well, not 2 in the same week. Anyway, I mean, what are you talking about? That was an actual ad for a thing that exists.
Yeah, we had to go through the pile of ads that we had this morning.
We're going to get into the behind-the-scenes information. Here's everything IMDb knows about...
Yeah.
This is everything they know about groupers. It was shot in 14 days.
This is Anderson Cowan's first feature film.
Making the Cougar Airtight is a reference to an episode of The Film Vault co-hosted by the director Anderson Cowan, in which he and co-host Brian Bishop used the term in conversation with intern Katie. There's more than that, but...
Yeah. A sign held by a homeless person reading Philippians 2:4 is visible. This verse reads, "Not looking to your own interests, but each of you to the interests of the others."
Those are certainly words. All right.
And now that you know just as much as the internet,
I do know more than that because I am a fan of this podcast that Anderson does with Bald Brian called The Film Vault. And because he has made some shorts in the past and was, talking about the filming of the movie before the movie was filmed. He talked about his script before it was filmed. He talked about his, process. He's got his own podcast separate. He's got 3, actually. He's got one called The After Disaster, which has a man named Mike Carano in it. Here's a fact I know, who played the bartender in one scene. And part of the intrigue for folks that listen to the shows is they could donate money towards the movie and put it under Mike's name or Bald Brian's name from the Film Vault, and whoever got more votes with donations in their name basically got to play that part. If I remember correctly, Bald Brian sort of backed down from that, saying, "I'm not an actor, let Mike do it." But he also donated to the movie himself.
right?
It's a pretty good podcast if you like podcasts, which I do. Originally that was our thought for this show, was
Yeah.
audio.
Somewhere we have a recording of.
No, we don't. I don't have that anymore.
No.
No, I deleted it. This is why I keep it.
Oh, all right.
Yeah. Well, one thing I can also tell you is that he is a huge fan of another director.
Yeah, Stanley Kubrick, and
You saw
a shot of.
There's a shot in the movie / in the trailer.
I wanted to say Lassie, and I know that's not right,
No,
but
that's what they call him.
right.
He gets called Lassie at one point. But
Yeah.
anyway,
And he's riding his bike, his trike, from behind, and it has basically the same shot as when the kid was riding it in the hall.
in The Shining,
Yeah,
it was definitely
an homage.
an homage to a Kubrick shot. If you don't like Stanley Kubrick, definitely don't listen to the Film Vault because he comes up a lot. That and Transformers. That was
Transformers
a
on
long
purpose?
that was a long running joke because Bald Brian does enjoy Transformers and a lot of popcorn kind of movies, and Anderson busts his balls about it all the time. Try to think of other things I know about this movie from all the listening. I know Anderson first met Adam Carolla on Loveline. He was the engineer, and that's where he met Bald Brian. Him and Carolla don't really get along, but I know he's been on Carolla's podcast and the Adam and Dr. Drew show trying to raise money for this movie and afterwards, because Carolla said, "Hey, I started watching that movie last night for this interview and it was good." And Cowan admitted that, Carolla's first movie, The Hammer, was really good. And considering they don't really like each other, that says a lot.
They were able to
They were willing to
admit that they liked the movie.
Carolla likes to be what he calls intellectually honest, and he's like, "Look, what I saw was good. I don't know if he ever finished it or whatever, because it was one of those things where he had a bunch of people coming in that week, and he had a bunch of stuff to watch, and he also at the time was able to do stand up and all sorts of stuff. So
So he had a packed schedule.
yeah, I'm sure he watched enough to really get the point.
Oh yeah, it's real easy to get.
It jumps
point.
right into the point of this movie.
Yeah.
But anyway, I just thought it was cool that as much as they don't necessarily like each other as people, they, were able to admit, like, hey, you made a movie I like. Hey, so did you.
And if you're watching this show currently, you probably have access to the internet.
I mean, if you're watching it live, yeah.
Yes. Well, and even if you're not watching it live, you probably have access to the internet because that's usually where it is.
I mean,
On
they
their
also-
channel too, but
Yeah, I was going to say that.
it's more on the internet than it is on the TV.
Anyway, what is your point?
So you could go to Tubi and watch this movie.
And it's definitely, if you don't like dark comedy, don't watch it. And I will tell you, the finger trap thing was something that Anderson was worried about, that he talked about showing up in any other film. He said the one thing he didn't want is to be accused of ripping it off, when that was one of the ideas he had very early on for this. Why don't we talk about what the actual thing is? So, because we don't have a lot of...
Yeah, so these two kids, Brad and Dylan,
make this kid Oren's life a living hell
because he's gay. They always torment him. Brad spit in his mouth one day because they just threw him on the ground. They were beating him and they spit in his mouth. And
hours after getting punched in the head, his ears were still ringing, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And his sister, who's in college, decides to help him out by
doing a little
gassing them at a bar. Well, not at a bar, like has them come out to the van, then gasses them while they're traveling to her house to have a three-way, supposedly.
Yeah.
And they wake up in a pool with Chinese finger traps on their penises, sticking them together. And she said, look, you think that gay is a choice? Fine. Choose to get hard for each other, and it'll release, and you can go. One of them instantly sprung to life.
Half of the party.
Creeping the shit out of the other one.
Oh, yeah. Bro, why is your dick touching me?
That's a line. No, the best line, though, is, we're not doing murder.
We're not doing murder, and they showed that in the trailer.
Yeah, I love that line. There are a lot of characters, and I have to say, Anderson gets a lot of shit on his podcast for being less likable, because Brian seems friendly and easygoing.
So he just wrote that into the movie and made nobody good.
Well, they say write what you know, and apparently he knows being a douche, and no. Hopefully we can like post this and like, you know, somehow get him to see that we did this
and call him a douche. Good job.
Hey, I like both of them on that show. I listen all the time, so the fact that we're giving a glowing review to his first film, because trust me, I know where this is heading. But why don't we get into some of the the favorite and least favorite scenes? And go a little more in depth than usual, since there's not a lot of facts here. All right,
so you want to go first? I know my favorite.
My favorite thing is, honestly, the fact that you don't like anybody.
I mean,
because the basic easy Hollywood path would be, if
good
they did the story,
bad.
it would be like, these guys are
Brad
bad.
and Dylan are the bad guys, so you can't like them. But Meg is doing this on behalf of her tortured brother, so she is the good, and you like her.
And her
not
brother
him.
is good, except Anderson made
all of them
made
douches.
her kind of a bitch, made her brother kind of an a-hole.
Kinda?
I mean,
oh my goodness.
Yeah, he was a dick. Like,
he was,
and that's more realistic to real life. You know what I'm saying? That's, the fact
it's not mean people being mean to nice people. It's mean people being mean to other mean people because they were high schoolers.
I mean, every single one of them is kind of a shitty person.
Every single person. Hank, Frank.
Yeah, we'll get into...
Everybody is shitty in this.
I think that was probably your favorite, right? The fact that their names were Hank and Frank? No.
No.
No, but in all seriousness, like, I like that he didn't do the Hollywood easy thing of, well, you have to like the gay guy, so we're going to make him great. No, he got to be a douchebag too. And it's like, yeah, you kind of root for them to get what they deserve because they were assholes. But then it's like, you go, did this guy ask for some of it? Maybe not all of it.
Not all of it.
But some of it.
But like...
And then he was like, we're doing this to go viral. And his sister's like, but
no,
we're not, though.
stand up if you want to go viral. We can overtake her.
Yeah, right? The closest thing to a character that you can actually like is the giant... What?
I just got the 5-minute warning.
Did we really get that far in? Okay. The basic one character is like the big gang leader guy. He's the only one you can really like, and he's a criminal.
So your favorite is that you can't really like everybody?
Yeah.
All right, my favorite is, as you put it, the criminal.
Yeah.
Because as soon as he enters the movie becomes much better, in my opinion. Like, it was already pretty dang good, and he just makes every scene funnier.
There are people having sex in my pool. I'm intrigued.
This has piqued my interest.
Yeah, that's it. Great.
He is great. He is great. And, like, from what you see, other than the fact that he's a criminal, he's the likable character
And I have
in
to
this
say,
movie.
a lot of the acting, considering what this budget was and everything, was good. Like, it's not like straight to home video quality acting. What?
All right.
But anyway,
so what's your least favorite?
my least favorite scene? Probably Oren locking his sister in the room. It bugged me because it's like, I get it, he's a dink, but do we have to deal with, like, I don't know. It was necessary for the plot, don't get me wrong.
Oh, yeah.
But, like, I had to find something that I didn't like, and I didn't like that.
All right. I think my least favorite would have to be Oren with the fake suicide attempt thing. Because it's like, that's just evil.
Yeah.
That's just evil.
Okay.
You want to be mean to these mean people? Be mean to the mean people. Don't do that.
Yeah, but then just to make you not like them too, they were like, what do you want me to do?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
They were like, oh, that's our problem.
Yeah, so, I mean, just unlikable people from beginning to end for the most part, except for the one guy.
Yeah.
Who is so heterosexual, he can have sex with dudes. He's so super masculine.
He's super masculine, so masculine that girls just don't do it for me anymore. That's what he said.
That is what he said.
Oh my goodness.
It was great.
He's great.
On a scale of 1 to 10.
I'm going 8.5.
8.5? All right. You know what? I'm going to go with an 8, but I would say that that's still pretty good considering, you know...
Considering we
normally review horror movies, this technically isn't.
We didn't even say the numbers.
Oh, yes. The people on Rotten Tomatoes have it at 92%.
And the critics have it at 29%.
But that's because the critics were like, these men are being tortured with their peni together. And I think a lot of it is, there is some like gay jokes that are in it, and that is something people are sensitive
jokes going
to.
Everywhere.
But the point is not to hate someone for being gay. But anyway.
Right. On that side of the screen.
You can see some info.
Yes, that.
Yes.
You can watch this show, Fact TV channel 1076, Thursdays at 8:30 p.m., Fridays at 7 p.m.
You can like us on Facebook, and by us, I mean the two of us, and also, you know, Fact TV. So if you're watching this live, that's probably what you've done.
Yes. You can go to fact8.com and watch a bunch of the back episodes of this, all the other stuff that they do. They just have everything that they do at all up there.
You can follow us on the Twitter machine.
The Twitter machine,
Yes.
I'm at Jason T. Jake 17, capital J, capital T, capital J.
Capital 1, capital 7. And I'm at Craig Jakes, all one word, all lowercase. And we don't really talk about this show, but we do make fun of I make fun of politicians.
Yeah, so...
I just like doing that.
Do watch this movie if you want to.
But have a dark sense of humor or you're not going to like it. It's definitely dark, but it's good.
It's free on Tubi. Go watch it. Until next time, I'm your host, Jason.
I'm his co-host and his father, Craig.
And sweet dreams.